Good morning everyone and welcome to Facebook Live. Doesn't Thursday come around so quickly, so here we are again. I'm Alison Connor, I'm your community health worker for the community health team, and as always I've got my line manager with me, Robin, who's doing a great job behind the camera as he's done every week for the past, goodness knows how many months. Well, today you might notice there's a wide variety of things on this table that I've got beside me. And what we're going to be talking about today is healthy breakfasts, because it's really important that you start your day well, and starting with a healthy breakfast is the key to getting you through most of the day. Okay, so what I thought we would do, first of all, if I just turn my page, is get you to think about what's the first thing you do when you get up. You maybe go and have a look outside, see what the weather's like, etc. Do you make yourself a cup of tea? Do you make yourself a cup of coffee? So we're going to talk about tea and coffee just to begin with, okay? So over here, if I scoot over, I've brought my canisters in. So here's coffee, here's our tea, okay? And here's our sugar, okay? So, if I put them down, if most of you say to yourself, oh my goodness, I can't start the day without my tea or without my coffee, do you think you've maybe got an addiction to it? That, you just can't seem to function without it? And if you do think that, maybe it's time to think about reducing the amount of tea and coffee that you have. I'll let you into a wee secret about myself. I used to drink a lot of tea, and I did drink coffee for a while, but I suffered from terrible migraines and headaches. And I decided that I'll try and cut caffeine out. And without a word of a lie, I've managed to cut out all the caffeine out, and I've never suffered a headache or a migraine since. It might not be the same for you because everybody's different. So what I'm on to now, here's my favourite mug again that I show you every week. I drink only hot water. And you might think, oh goodness, that's going to be boring, Alison, just having a cup of hot water. But if you think about when you're having your tea, I started to make it really weak. It started off really quite strong, and then I made it weaker and weaker, and I thought, I'd be as well just having hot water. So it's just a thought, and a lot of people all say, Alison, oh aye, hot water, how boring is that? Worry ye not, doesn't have to be boring. Some people would maybe like a little dash of lemon in it, give yourself some vitamin C, so you could always spruce it up with that. So if you do start your day with tea or coffee, have a wee think, could you start it with hot water? Right. So, we've spoken about the beverages. Now, a lot of people like their cereals. Now, cereals are absolutely fine. However, you have to be careful with some cereals because, do you know what they're full of, some of them? The S word. Yes, sugar. So, that's the kind of thing we're trying to avoid a lot. So, I've brought with me today some cornflakes. Okay, now, I'll try and open this without going all over the place. So, here's our humble cornflakes, okay? A big no-no, and especially if you've got children, try to avoid adding sugar on top of what's already got some sugar in it. So really try your best to not add any more calories, any more problems that you would get with sugar. We've also got, in my wee container, I had to run around my house this morning and get some ingredients. This is all bran. Now, all bran's really fantastic. There is some sugar in it, but not a tremendous amount of it, so it's quite good for you. It's also great, it's full of fibre. So all bran's another great thing. Very low sugar, low calorie. So all bran and cornflakes. Now, forgive me, I'm going to put the lids on, because, knowing me, I might just scatter something on the table. And if anything falls on the floor, I have to clean it up because Robin refuses. So I always have to do all the cleaning up. So that's our cornflakes, that's our all bran. Right. We've also got whole grain wheat. Now this is really good for you as well. If you're having your whole grain wheat, you get this one is called Bixies, you got all different types of them. And it's 95% whole grain wheat, so that's telling you a lot. That's telling you the majority of the ingredients in this box are whole grain wheat. Now I'm going to go over labels, but I'll go over them just in a minute or two, okay? So we've got our Bixies, not Bickies, goodness sake, and porridge oats, good old Scots porridge oats. How do you make yours? Some people put sugar, the S word in it, we're trying to avoid that. Some people use the other S word that we're trying to avoid, salt. So, if you can, Robin, what would you suggest we flavour our porridge with?
I better be careful this week. Well, you could probably put like some nice. Did you mention fruits, like just various fruits?
Yeah,
you
so
can put in
various fruits.
sultanas maybe that are
Yeah.
high in sugar, but maybe just a few sultanas, raisins.
Yep, so there you go. See, Robin's made porridge before, and that's the kind of things he puts in. You would put some fruit in it, wouldn't you, Robin?
Yep.
He wouldn't add peanut butter. That was a blip the other week there.
Well, I might.
We're not going to mention that. So, what he could put in, we've got strawberries here. So you could chop up some strawberries and put it in, make it nice and healthy. Now, I tried to get blueberries this morning, but I don't know what was happening in the shop. Could I see blueberries? And it was a bit pushed for time, so I couldn't get them, but you could also add blueberries. Another great start to your day, our friend the banana. Now the great thing about a banana, so just say you're in a hurry, you go out the door, you take your banana with you. The great thing about the banana is there's no need to seal it, there is no need to put it in a container, there's no need to wrap it in tin foil. Your banana comes already vacuum packed and sealed in its own skin. So bananas are fantastic. Put it in your bag, you don't need to worry about storage or anything. There you go. Now some people will say, oh, when I get bananas they start to go, a funny colour, they go really brown. What you would do storing your bananas is immediately get them out of the plastic bag and keep them away from other fruits, because other fruits, impact on bananas, and bananas impact on other fruits too. Bananas can ripen other fruits, so make sure you store the bananas safely away from other fruits. You've maybe also seen the Hagen things you can put your bananas on. That's just getting the air through them, so that's great for them too. Now we're going to jump back to the cereals. Now I'm warming up now, so I'm going to take my cardigan off, if that's okay. So off that goes. So with your cereals, you probably put milk in them, yeah? Most people would put milk in them. So that's what we're going to look at today as well. So we've got our green top milk, our red top milk. Now we didn't bring the blue because the blue is the full fat milk, it's the one that's got all the cream etc in it. So what we try and ask you to do is take your milk level down a notch. If you're already on red, try and get down to green. Now your green is your semi-skimmed milk, okay? And your red is skimmed. Now it can be tricky going right down to this, but it is an acquired taste, but you can do it if you do it gradually. So we recommend green or red, if you could do that. Now somebody don't dare say to me, oh Alison, I like the blue milk for all my calcium needs. There's just as much calcium in your green and in your red. And in fact, I've been reliably informed by a dietitian that, now listen to this, there is marginally more calcium in the red. And do you know why that is? It is because there's no added fat, so the fat's taken out, so there's more room just for the milk. So there you go. So don't give me that old chestnut, oh I need it for my calcium, because you can have your red milk and it's got a load of calcium in it. Okay? Now, if you were to think about yoghurts, Robin, do you ever have yoghurt for your breakfast?
Yep.
And do you make your own? Not the yoghurt.
Make my own yoghurt, I mean, yeah.
No, you don't make your own yoghurt.
That would take a long time. Yeah, so I would have a mixture. Sometimes I have natural yogurt, sometimes Greek yogurt, sometimes you can get like loads of different things like strained yogurt and all that. So yeah, there's quite a lot to choose from. Okay,
so Robin's got a good handle on what all the yogurts are. What we're going to suggest to you is be careful, be a bit of a detective when you go shopping. Some of your yogurts, they'll look great, they'll look healthy, they'll maybe say 50% lower fat, but check your ingredients, because lower fat doesn't mean lower sugar, so check. These are lower fat cherry yoghurt, low fat vanilla yoghurt. Now that's great, they've already got the flavour and etc in them. However, what about we be creative and we do something ourselves? These are fine, they're okay to have in the cupboard in your fridge, but, oops, that's the eggs we'll talk about then next. Some low-fat Greek yoghurt. So if you get your low-fat Greek yoghurt, put it in a container. Again, same with the porridge. What could we be adding, Robin?
Well, yeah, similar, just fruits, so strawberries, bananas, maybe some raisins, yeah.
So we can be creative, we can add things. If you're watching us today and you can think of other things that Robin and I could be adding to our Greek yoghurt, let us know. Make sure it's healthy. I do not want to hear chocolate spread or anything like that. Please don't, because we're trying to keep it healthy for you guys today. So again, your Greek yoghurt, make your own. Okay, add some things to it. Right, so we've done milk, labels. Now, if we pick up our Bixies again, okay, there's nutritional information on the side, okay. Now, Robin's very kindly going to show this, which I've got in my hand, so hopefully you can see the food shopping card. Now, on it's something called traffic lights, and you may be familiar with these. Now, the traffic lights are to try and help and guide you when you go shopping. So, if you're looking at an ingredient in a product and it's got lots of reds going across it, okay, you would kind of think, oh, beware, there's a lot of fat in it, there's a lot of saturated fat, there's a lot of sugar, and there's a lot of salt. If you look to the colour and it's an amber colour, it's saying it's okay, but have it in moderation. If you get to green, it's a big thumbs up for the green, and that would be go. So green is what you're looking for on a lot of things, okay? So you're looking for the green light on the traffic light symbol. We'll probably post this up on our Facebook page later so you can have a look at it. It also has information on the back of it, and it's just saying use this to compare foods. You can make a choice when you go to the supermarket. And remember, this is all about 100 grams. Check what it's all about. It could be about 150 grams or 50 grams, 40 grams sometimes when it's cereal. So check what it's telling you. And really, you're looking for the salt intake as well, so be careful. So if we'll look at the Bixies again, here we go. Green, green, green. I don't know if you can see that, but at the bottom of the box, Robin, do you think people can see it?
Hang on.
All green, so it's all good to go. So if you get your whole grain wheat, we've got green for fat content, we've got green for saturated fat, we've got green for sugars and green for salt. So you'd be safe in the knowledge that, hey, this is really good. And they've put strawberries and blueberries on, so Bixies are doing the same as what Robin and I would do. Advise you to have some fruit with it. Okay, now, if you were thinking about having a cooked breakfast, it's all about the way that you cook it. So, if you say, well, I love my fry-ups, oh, Robin and I will be going, no, because big fry-ups are kind of not the best thing to be having. We know about the saturated fat content in the big fry-ups, it's not ideal. But if you're going to insist and say, I'm not stopping that for anybody, let's look at the way that you cook it. Could you grill some of the things you're doing if you're having sausages? Could you try and grill them? Could you maybe oven bake them? And if you're still going to be set on the fact that you want to fry them, try not to pour oil in, try not to, get the lard, because lard is really high in saturated fat. What about a little spray oil? So just on the bottom of the pan, you don't need a lot of it at all, and that would be better for you, okay? So think about the way you cook your foods as well. Now, I'm going to talk personally here about what I do for my breakfast in the morning. And my breakfast, I would say 90% of the time is a boiled egg on toast. And I've fallen in love with boiled eggs. They've been great for helping with weight loss, and they're also great to help with making you feel fuller for longer. So what we've got here is our eggs. Make sure you get free range eggs. We want to look after our hens and etc. So get the friendly free range eggs. So you've got your free range eggs. Now eggs are a product you can do absolutely loads with. So Robin will help me out if I forget anything. Fry them, scramble them, poach them. What else can you do with eggs?
Fry, scramble, poach, and then you said boiled as well.
So lots of different ways of
soft
cooking
or
eggs.
hard boiled as well.
Soft and hard boiled, exactly. So I have a hard boiled egg every day. So I'll boil 2 eggs every day. I've already had one with my toast, and this is the other boiled egg. So if I was to throw this at Robin, safe in the knowledge, it won't splatter all over him because it's already been boiled. Are you ready to catch Robin?
Yeah.
Well done, Robin. His reflexes are very good. So that's our egg, so a boiled egg. Now, we've spoke about the boiled egg. What we're going to put it on? Aha. You would probably have toast, is that correct? Yeah, we'd have our toast. Now, I've been to the shop today, and as you can see, I have got 2 loaves in front of me, okay? So one we've got here is wholemeal seeded farmhouse, and the other one is just called simply medium sliced white. Now, which one do you think is going to be better for you? We'll all know the answer to that. It's definitely going to be the whole grain one, isn't it? The white bread, it's not ideal. A lot of the flour's bleached, etc., and it's gone through a lot of processes. So if you can, try and ditch the white bread. Okay, you do get some whole grain white bread, so I'm not saying it's the same for all white breads, but this one's fantastic. Okay, it's got lots of wholemeal and it's got seeds, etc. in it. This will keep you feeling fuller for longer. So you could have one slice of this bread with your egg. You'd have to have 2, 3, maybe even 4 of the white to get the same feeling of fullness. And within this, you've got a ton of fibre as well. So fibre is another thing that we're encouraging you to eat a lot of. So if you can, whole grain bread. What are you going to spread on it? Right, okay. So, some people like butter, that's absolutely fine, but try and make it, scrape it on. Don't have bread with your butter, okay? You have butter with your bread and put a little bit on. So it's all about spreading. Now, if you have butter that's really, really hard and it's been in the fridge for a while, you're more likely to put more on. So try and get it down to a little bit like room temperature and it'll be easier spread so you won't be using so much. So with most products, just the same as we spoke about the yogurts, you get higher fat and lower fat. So here we've got the lighter variety of the butter. Now, there is a difference in them, but as Robin very cleverly pointed out this morning, there's still quite a bit of red on this one. So we'll read out what the red is. So it's high in fat, high in saturated fat. It's very good for sugars, okay? You're safe in the knowledge there's no sugar in this product, which is good. There's 2% salt, which isn't too bad. It is lower, so you're making it a better choice by having the lower fat spread. So make sure you choose that. Okay. Now, if you want to have a cooked breakfast as well, is there any chance you could consider having a vegetarian sausages rather than the full fat? You know, because red meat's got quite a lot of saturated fat in it. Vegetarian sausages, really good, and they're suitable for vegans as well, okay? Very low in fat and very high in protein. And protein's absolutely great for your growth and repair of your vital organs and bits, etc. So that's just another option. Alongside having a cooked breakfast, let's think about making a lot of mushrooms. The mushroom is a wonderful food to be having. Also your tomatoes, okay? So you can grill these. If you were to fry them, make sure it's the spray oil, okay? So we could be having those. Other thing that we were going to talk about, oh yes Robin, we'd better not forget our colleague, Christine. Christine is vegan and is also gluten-free. So I thought, well, there'll be other people out there who are vegetarian, vegan and would like to know about gluten-free things. So I spoke to Christine the other day and Christine very kindly told me about what she has for her breakfast. So, this is from the Dallas household because she's included her husband in this, so Jim gets a mention. So, Christine would have gluten-free cornflakes, okay? So, the cornflakes are fine for vegans, and especially if it's gluten-free, and rather than have the milk that I've pointed out earlier, Christine would have soya or almond milk. She would also put sultanas on it and some fresh berries. So that's a very healthy vegan breakfast. Now Jim, her husband Jim, this is all about the Dallas family today, hope they're enjoying this. Jim's going to have porridge with soya milk and fruit, and the same as Christine, probably bananas and some blueberries. Now on a Sunday they like to treat themselves, so they go mad on a Sunday. Christine will get up and she'll make some potato scones, she'll grill her tomato and she'll grill her oven cook her mushrooms and she'll have scrambled tofu. Now Christine has also kindly agreed that if anybody wants any vegan recipes or gluten-free recipes, get in touch with us on the Facebook page and she's going to put them on for us and she'll give you some information. Anybody need any information about gluten-free things, please let us know. Now I think I've covered most things. I'm just going to dart back to my book. I'm having a look over all these. We've got apples and mandarins that I've not mentioned, but we've mentioned labels, we've mentioned sugar, traffic lights, milk, bread, tea, coffee, water, eggs, yogurts, vegan and styles of cooking. So that's basically it this week. So if you have any questions, fire them in. Robin's given me a nod, so I'm assuming there's a question.
We've got a ton of comments and questions, so I thought I've just got to say, well, a few, mostly comments, but there might be some questions.
Here we go.
So, I don't know which order this is in, Hank. Okay, so we've got, so Tammy's joined us. Donna said, hi Alison.
Hi Donna.
Tammy said that she needs that first coffee in the morning for Chantel. I take it that's your daughter maybe to get her, so you're up and awake and everything. So
So Tammy needs her coffee.
Yeah, so I suppose like one coffee in the morning is fine, just start the day.
Maybe gets you going.
But then you also said like later on, you're bad for coffee, only person that can have a bed coffee. So do you mean just before bed you can have coffee and still go to sleep?
Wow, that's amazing, because we would probably advise people don't have tea and coffee after 8 o'clock at night because of the stimulant, obviously, with the caffeine. But you're maybe such a busy person and got so many things on that by the time you get to your bed, you're probably, really tired. So I certainly couldn't have a coffee before bedtime. Robin?
No, I can't. I don't take coffee at all. Any coffee, I just shake and feel horrible.
Robin and I are a bit of wimps when it comes to the caffeine, aren't we? We can't seem to handle our caffeine, so we've kind of shied away from it.
Yeah, it's important to just think about, though, if you like your mood during the day, and particularly if you're someone that feels quite like anxious all the time, like coffee is not a very good thing to have, or caffeine in general. So I think, So Ethel's asked, does decaf coffee have caffeine in it? And I would say it does.
Yeah.
Small amount, but still a little bit.
Yeah, Robin's right. It does have some caffeine in it. You can't extract totally the caffeine out of the decaf teas and coffees. However, it is greatly reduced. So Ethel, if you're thinking about changing to decaf, or you're already drinking decaf, that's absolutely fine. But please be aware that there is still some caffeine in it. Because when I was suffering with migraines and headaches, I did go to decaf. And I didn't get the headaches as often, but they were still there. And I'm really pleased to say they're absolutely gone now. So caffeine didn't agree with me. It might agree with other people, but it wasn't good for me. And to be fair, I'm usually hyper enough without getting all this caffeine. I would be told to, simmer down a bit. So, any other questions?
So Sylvia says she has blueberries and bananas in yogurt, but she had... Today she had porridge with blueberries, and I buy blueberries and put them in the freezer. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, freeze your fruit, keep them lasting longer. Yeah,
well done, Sylvia. That's a great tip. So if anybody's got any fruits that they would like to freeze, not all fruits can be frozen, but certainly your berries, that would be great to put them in the freezer and use them. And it's also good if you're in any of the shops and they're on special, or they've got the yellow ticket on them, you can buy a few of them and you can freeze them and then use them at your leisure as and when needed.
Great. And one question from Ethel is, what about olive oil spreads? Are they better for you?
There's a lot of good properties in olive oil, and it's a big thing over, with Italian cooking. Olive oil would be a really good thing to do, but use it sparingly. It's better using olive oil than, say, for instance, lard or other oils. Your olive oil would be better, far better properties in it. So Ethel, it's absolutely fine. But everything in moderation, that would be my advice to you, but just use it sparingly. And in fact, I might be able to tell you that the one I got today, this is extra virgin olive oil. So a couple of sprays of this, and the good thing is, if you use this and you finish it, just buy a bottle of the olive oil, fill it into here, and that means you can control how much olive oil you're going to be using. So Ethel, what about you get one of these? Would that help you, Ethel? Let us know if you take this tip on.
Yeah, so no other question. Oh, well, actually, there is a question. So Lisa says, I've missed most of the video. Can you start again?
Lisa, now come on. We start at 11.
And you can watch it back.
You can rewatch this later on, but just briefly, you know what I would say to people? I used to run a healthy lifestyle course, and it was in the hill town, and when we had new people coming along to join the course, and now I'm not wanting to make an assumption, but generally people under 35, they didn't have their breakfast. But us slightly older, not much older what I, but slightly older, we would always have our breakfast. Every person in that room had their breakfast, but anybody younger, and it was a case of no time, the kids, getting them out to school, etc. And I had to try and say to them, you certainly wouldn't send your children out to school without a breakfast, would you? Oh no, they were adamant that there's no way their kids would go to school without a breakfast. I says, well, the same principle must apply to you, because you have to function during the day as well. So see breakfast is one of the most important meals of the day. So make sure you fuel your body. You need to get some carbohydrates in, you need your proteins, and you can seize the day and get on and do other things.
She says, haha, sorry.
Apology not accepted, Lisa. You know I start at 11, but I know you're going to watch it back, so that's okay. I'll let you off.
Oh, and just to mention, I did put a photo this morning on Facebook of the overnight oats that I made. I think, yeah, it was last night I made it, but I forgot. I didn't actually forget. My wife ate it, but I did allow her to have it, so it was permitted. I thought by the time it got here it would go a bit funny, but so there's a photo of it. If you want to know how to make it, then we can put up a recipe. It's pretty simple, so it's just oats, yogurt of any sort of kind, and some milk is all you need, and just mix it all together in a glass. Chuck it in the fridge overnight, and then in the morning it's ready to eat.
There you go. And Robin is a picture of glowing health, and that's because of that.
Usually,
and we'll have to have a...
That's it there.
Now that's what it would have looked like, but a certain person who shall be nameless ate Robin's creation. It was meant to be here today, so someone's got a lot of questions to answer. Is that right, Robin?
That's right, yeah. There's a couple more comments. Ethel's just saying, thank you, Alison and Robin, very helpful. I will try that, thanks. And Lisa says that she has just started eating breakfast recently.
Lisa, well done. Now that's a message to send to everybody, because Lisa, I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming you're maybe just in your 30s. If you're in your 30s, that seems to be maybe the busy lifestyle that you've got. So if you look at this table, it's absolutely groaning under the weight of all the things that you could have for your breakfast. And this isn't all you can eat buffet. You're not meant to eat this every day, but take a selection of these things. We've given you loads of ideas, I hope, from your eggs to your vegetarian sausages, your wholemeal breads. Look at the milks that you're using. Make use of fruit in the morning too. The other thing I should have mentioned was another great addition to having mushrooms and that is, if you get a tin of peeled plum tomatoes, they're great. Just put them in a pot and boil them up. They're very tasty. They're really lovely. So try and think about using some tinned tomatoes. Extremely low fat and really, really good for you. You can maybe even have beans on toast, loads of fibre in beans, but check the sugar content, okay? Did I mention, Robin, about the context, about ingredients in products? If you read the ingredients in a product, and if the main ingredient, the first ingredient you see is sugar, I would avoid that like the plague, because that's just telling you it's just full of sugar. So look at what's listed first. If sugar's listed way down the line, that's probably not too bad. But remember, sugar disguises itself in many ways. It could be fructose, glucose, sucrose, you name it, syrup, honey, you name it. There's all these different things that could be, full of sugar. So watch what you're doing with them. If there's anybody got any more questions, Robin, or a comment?
Comments. Lisa says, Robin, the overnight oats and berries are brilliant. I take it that means you've made it. Is that what you're saying? Or you just, do you like them with the photo that I put up? I don't know. and then Sylvia says she's going to have boiled eggs and toast for breakfast tomorrow.
Oh, well, that's good, Sylvia. I hope I've inspired you to think of that. Sylvia, can I just advise you, though, try and use the whole grain variety of bread with the seeds on it. If you could, Sylvia, that would be really good for you. And you will notice it keeps you feeling fuller for longer. And that's what it's all about. And all these ingredients I've got here were all very low cost. I haven't bought any brand names at all. I'm quickly searching just in case I have, but no, they're all, the shop's own brand. So shop and just have a wee look at things. You don't need to buy brand names to get good value.
Yeah, I'm just on the point you mentioned about feeling fuller for longer. I think so. When I mentioned porridge, so oats are really good for that as well, because they've got a soluble fibre in it that basically it absorbs water in your body, and then it makes you feel much fuller throughout the day. So it's a good thing to have, and it's lower in calories as well than other foods.
That's a great point, Robin, and I should have mentioned this earlier. A lot of your cereals are fortified with vitamins and minerals, so have a look at that. A lot of them have got vitamin D and other kinds of vitamins in them. I remember speaking to a woman it was a while ago, and she was on about the cereals that she gives her kids. And by the time we did a comparison with the cereal and with a well-known chocolate bar, she would have been as well giving her kid a chocolate bar. Now that sounds absolutely scandalous, but it's just to let you know that sugar is in lots of things, and it really is targeted at kids, because a lot of kids will not take cereals unless they're heavily sugared or they've got chocolate in them. So you've got to learn from an early age, try not to add sugar to things. So if you can, try and get rid of the sugar in your diet.
I almost forgot, actually.
Good, Robin,
just on the note of sugar, so you'll know a well-known chocolate spread brand that I won't mention, I won't promote it, but some people have that for their breakfast. It's not a good thing to have because it is so high in sugar, but I tried to make a sort of lower sugar version of it last night as well, and so it is possible. It does involve using, so if you're trying to lose weight, then possibly not the best idea, but you'd need to use nut butter for it. So instead of having this branded chocolate spread product, you can maybe mix a bit of either peanut butter or you can get hazelnut butter, almond butter, things like that, but they tend to cost more, and you can mix it with some cocoa powder or cacao powder, and then you don't have to add any sugar into it at all, and it can be a slightly healthier alternative to the high sugar spread.
Good, Robin. That's a good tip there. So make your own if you can, and it is far better for you if you make your own. You know exactly what the ingredients are in them. I'll do a quick check of the time. Now, I said, Robin, I'll maybe just talk for 10 or 15 minutes because it's breakfast. We won't have too much to say. My God, we've been inundated with people wanting to give us their tips and their advice and everything about getting themselves fueled in the morning. But if you can, think about what we've said today. Look at all the products that we've got. If you want any more information, please do get in touch because the Facebook page is checked regularly and we'll try and answer any questions or queries. Get your pictures up, because somebody said to me that they'd made coleslaw and they were going to put their picture up. I'm not going to mention their name, but they've been on talking this morning, so you know who you are. You were going to put your coleslaw picture up, and Robin changed the settings, so get that coleslaw up. Get some of your homemade creations with your yogurts, etc. up. Give us what you've been eating, and you know it's great because you're sharing your information and knowledge with everybody else. We're learning from you guys too. So hope you've enjoyed today's session. We've had healthy breakfast. Don't know what we're doing next week, so fire in with anything that you would like us to cover, and Robin and I will do our best to go over it. Anything else, Robin?
No.
Right, from Robin and from me, have a wonderful Thursday, and we can't wait till next week. So see you next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.